Hi everyone, just wanted to say, do you trust the NHS? Whether it was, I don't know about years ago, but I think over time, I think the NHS has definitely changed over the years. So I'd like to say, do you trust the NHS? That's my question today. And I'd like to say that I think a lot of people are actually losing a lot of faith in the NHS because of a lot of problems that have gone on in the NHS and how they have, I think how they have just taken away the trust of the people compared to maybe years ago when we felt a bit more comfortable trusting the NHS, which we don't as much now. So I'd like to say that I definitely, I'm not saying that you cannot trust them ever, but I do feel that at times I have lost trust in the NHS, and it opens your eyes more when you have someone or you know someone that's been in hospital and have been affected by the NHS. I do have an uncle at the moment who is in hospital who has had a lot of problems, we've had a lot of problems to do with the nurses and the staff there who are dealing with his problems. And I have found a couple of times how rude they have been as well towards a family member of mine. And they kind of make you feel like, oh, we're the doctors, we're the nurses, we know what we're doing, back off. But at the end of the day, my uncle's been in hospital for quite a while and has complained of being in severe pain, so which we have been trying to help him with. And I do feel that sometimes they kind of make you feel that when they're in hospital, they don't want you getting involved or interfering. But sometimes you have to, because they try to make you feel like they're doing the best for the patients, and sometimes they don't. Not always doing the best for their patients. So please, if you have someone who is in hospital, try and visit, and listen to what's going on, and listening to the patient that's in the hospital. Because the thing is that, hold on one second, sorry. It's quite warm today and I've just had to put my fan on. If you hear like a humming noise, it is actually my fan. So yeah, so if you have someone in hospital, just be visiting, because I know you may think, oh, they're in hospital, they're got to be quite safe there, but we haven't actually experienced that. And so yeah, I'd just like to say that, because I do have an uncle in hospital at the moment he lives in Bedfordshire, and he's in a hospital at the moment, and so he's got a lot of health issues, a hell of a lot of health issues, and needs a lot of help. But I find that we've been finding that some of the staff are actually take advantage of him because of all of his health issues, and because of the fact that he has trouble understanding certain things. So obviously family members are having to visit him and make sure that he's getting the right treatment, and having to get the because he's having to have a lot of painkillers at the moment, a lot of pain relief and stuff like that. And so sometimes we'd go up to the hospital, find that they've changed the dosage, where they've put the dosage down instead of keeping it at a high strength, because he suffers with a lot of pain because of his cancer problems. So at the moment, this is what I'm trying to say, is try and go and visit your relatives if they are in a hospital, to find out, make sure they're getting the right treatment and getting the right help. Because sometimes you may think, oh, they're in hospital, they're absolutely fine, and they're in the right place. If something happens, they'll be there to rush to them. Because I remember when my uncle was in hospital, when it was during, I don't know if we're allowed to say the word because of it being YouTube, but during the sea, and they had written on his notes, do not resuscitate. When I had asked my uncle if that's what he wanted, he actually said no. So we told the staff, and they had to change it to to resuscitate. Okay, so, you know, a lot of these things are kind of like as if they take away your power, okay, and they don't even ask the family, look, do you want it this way or that way? Because, you know, my uncle does have a lot of health issues. He did at the time and still does. So, but at the time, I do still believe that, you know, if you have a sick family member, that they should be still asking either way. They shouldn't take that onto their own hands and thinking that's okay for them to do that. They shouldn't put the power into their own hands. And this is the problem, is that that's what they want. They want the power to be able to do what they want without asking family members if it's okay. So this is what I totally disagree with when it comes to the NHS. Not that I'm saying that there isn't good doctors and nurses in the hospitals or in the NHS, but some of them want too much control and power over the patients that are in the hospitals. So that's why I say do go and check on them if you have somebody who is in the hospital, and make sure they're getting the right treatment, because I don't always believe that you can trust everything they're doing. In my opinion, I don't believe you can trust everything they're doing. Would like to think that we can and that we should, absolutely, but that's just not always the case. So if you do have someone in hospital, then it's always good to check on them and make sure they are okay, and make sure that they're getting the right treatment in the hospital, and making sure that they are okay. Okay, so that's it for me from today, and I'd like to say thank you for listening. Bye-bye.